By background, a politician now with an enviable. I'm not here getting an adequate answer. Our sports minister, youth services minister, our employment and skill development minister, Mr. Hamar from Mizoram. Seated on the dais with me, secretary in my department, someone very immersed in the development of the northeastern region. Secretary, Department of Donor, Chanchal Kumarji. Joint Secretary on the dais with me, in charge of some of the most important schemes for the Northeast under the donor ministry, Shantanuji. Member of the Northeast Council, and our able lieutenant in the Northeast, seated on the dais with me, Ms. Sherry Lalthangzo, member of the FICCI Tamil Nadu chapter, co-chairperson Bhupesh Nagarajanji, and most importantly, members in the audience here, all of you who make India the vibrant kaleidoscope that she is, all of you who represent the potential of the growing economic power that India will herald on the world stage by 2047. As India reforms, as India transforms, and as India performs, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi always says, our business fraternity, our investment fraternity, present here this evening at the Chennai Roadshow event of the Northeastern region. Let me say first that it's a pleasure to be back in Chennai. A city that has so beautifully transcended both worlds that India represents. The world of our ancient heritage, our ancient religions, our ancient scriptures, our ancient gurus, our ancient morals, our ancient values, our ancient principles. And the modern world. That world of cutting-edge technology, of cutting-edge innovation, of cutting-edge entrepreneurship, of cutting-edge capability. That innovation, that entrepreneurship, that capability, that will not only power India as she moves towards her destiny, but that will indeed power the globe to that beacon and to that melting pot of Chennai. I bow my head and salute all of you. And so the modern world of Chennai. What does that representation of Chennai portend for the world? Chennai's capability of its thriving IT ecosystem. Chennai's bevy of academic institutions that are always on the cutting edge. And Chennai's amazing industrial ecosystem. And it is these attributes that make Chennai, in quote unquote, the cradle of economic growth of India. It is that innate capability. And therefore today, as Minister of Donor, representing the 8 states, I have come before you to invite you to be a part of that transformative journey, to be a part of that fast-growing ecosystem of India, the path and the area that will deliver phenomenal growth over the next decade, not only for India, but for the rest of the world. The attributes that Chennai today represents for India and for the rest of the world. As I invite you to the Ashtalakshmi, as the Prime Minister has characterized our 8 states in the Northeast, the Ashtalakshmi, the Purvottar, that Purvottar, and I know all of you in South India believe, like all of us in India believe, that the sun, Surya, is the one that plants the seed of energy in every human being. सूर्योदय से उदय की शुरुआत होती है. And that Surya's first blessing on our motherland is not in Jammu and Kashmir, it is not in Madhya Pradesh, it is not in Maharashtra, it is not in Tamil Nadu. That Surya's first blessing on our motherland, on Mother India, the first ray of the sun dawns nowhere else but in Arunachal Pradesh of the Northeast. So I invite you to the land where the sun presents its first blessing, the Ashtalakshmi collection of India. And whilst I invite you, it's important to understand why we are in Chennai. Because today, success, ladies and gentlemen, is not about the money in your bank account. Today's success is not about access to capital. Today's success is not about leveraging capital. But success today is defined and purely defined by the entrepreneurship DNA in every single citizen. And that is why my young friend Amar and I are here with you in Chennai. Because that is what Chennai represents. Your capability in the area of IT, software. Today, OMR, our old Mahabalipuram Road, that stretch of real estate alone, and human ingenuity enshrined in that strip of real estate, contributes almost 2.5 lakh crore of our software exports in this country. Chennai is an IT and innovation powerhouse. And when you look at that capability of digital transformation, in the new era of AI, where you have OpenAI and ChatGPT, and now you have DeepSeek, that capability to be ahead of the curve is enshrined in Chennai, and I want you to take you to the land of opportunity, the Ashtalakshmi in India, where that capability can be exploited. Your second amazing talent and capability is in the manufacturing and logistics sector, where today in the world, there is no longer a Detroit, but there is a new Detroit, and the new Detroit is Chennai. That area of Sri Perumbutur, with its ecosystems of the auto sector, today that microcosm has resulted in 30% share of our automotive exports across the world. That logistics capability. Third capability is in the area of education and talent. IIT Chennai has always been at the cutting edge of innovation. As telecom minister today, my 2 6G and 5G test beds are in IIT Chennai. Anna University, 50,000 of our IT professionals graduate from our institutions in Chennai. And the fourth capability is your infrastructure and connectivity. As Civil Aviation Minister, I experienced that when I opened the new terminal in Chennai. And not only in the area of civil aviation, but your road sector, your ring roads, your metros, your urban development. All of these are a model not only for Tamil Nadu. These are also a model for the rest of India. Urban development models. And therefore, all of these capabilities combined with where I started from, modernity, but modernity along with tradition. Your cultural tradition. Whether it's the Kapaleshwar temple, whether it is the vibrant Chennai music season. My friend just talked about Coldplay's concert in the Northeast. But not only Coldplay, every single international artist across the world, when they come to India, the one place they go to is the Northeast, whether it's Ed Sheeran, whether it is Boney M, whether it is Coldplay, across the world. And so that marriage between tradition and modernity, which you have so wonderfully evolved, that is that union that along with you, I want to take to the Northeast. Because my role with the Northeast is not only about development, not only about vikas, but vikas ke saath virasat bhi. We have to protect our legacy. And that is what Chennai has done beautifully. And that's the model I want to take to the Northeast. We have a tremendous amount of legacy in the Northeast. And that has to be expounded. Who better to expound that than all of you from Chennai who have done it so beautifully here in Tamil Nadu? Now, the last 10 years have truly been transformational in the Northeast. The Prime Minister, with his sankalp, his dedication, his target, उत्तर पूर्वी क्षेत्र का विकास, what earlier used to be looked at in terms of the fringes of India, the last bastions of India, the Prime Minister has transformed into the bulwark of India, the primary vibrant villages of India. The first point of call of India is the Northeast today. Over the last 10 years, there has been a tremendous amount of effort that has gone in to create that vibrancy. And having been given this opportunity by the Prime Minister, and I thank him from the bottom of my heart, it has allowed me to visit the Northeast, it has allowed me to experience the Northeast, it has allowed me to understand and appreciate our treasure trove. And I really say it's our treasure trove. It's our Shangri-La. Our environment of peace, our environment of security. And within that, a developmental paradigm. A developmental paradigm where every single village has to be connected by roads. The Secretary was saying just now, 5,500 kilometers of road built over the last 10 years, highways. 10,600 kilometers, today 15,500 kilometers. What India built in the last 65 years, 50% of that Prime Minister has built in the last 10 years. 5,500 kilometers of national highways, 50,000 kilometers of Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana. 50,000 kilometers. Connecting every village, every majra, every tola. And you and I know how difficult the terrain is in the Northeast. But the central government has persevered, state governments have persevered. And we are working hand in hand. And I've mentioned to every chief minister that I am their partner in their journey of developing their state. The Minister of Donor, the Ministry of Donor, the Government of India is their partner like we are with every other state across India, but specifically the Northeast. Why? Because you have developed models, and then you have the Northeast, which is the largest opportunity, economic opportunity, I believe, Forget about in India, in Asia today. I talked about roads, airports. My previous charge as Civil Aviation Minister for 4 years. In 65 years of our independence, we had only 9 airports in the Northeast. Arunachal Pradesh did not have an airport. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Tamil Nadu not having a single airport? Sikkim did not have a single airport. Today, Arunachal Pradesh has 4 airports, Sikkim has 1 airport, Northeast does not have 9, it has 17 airports. Our advanced landing grounds, ALGs, on the border with China. As Civil Aviation Minister, I converted our ALGs into airports. And the number of flights, connectivity, because it's not good enough just building an airport, because that's brick and mortar. Avagaman ki zarurat hai. You've got to have people coming and going. That's the lifeblood of an institution. A college is only brick and mortar unless you have faculty and unless you have students. A hospital is only brick and mortar unless you have doctors and unless you have patients. Likewise, an airport is only brick and mortar unless you have people coming and going. We had 950 air traffic movements per week, which means in normal parlance, a plane coming and a plane going. In 2014, today we have upwards of 2,000 air traffic movements per week in the Northeast. So whether we talk about road, we talk about airports, rail, you've heard a lot from the speakers today. Can you imagine the Northeast? Many states did not have rail connectivity for 65 years. Today, all states have rail connectivity. We built 1,909, not a round figure, I'm giving you the exact number of kilometers, 1,909 kilometers of rail lines across the Northeast. Today, Jirbaum rail line, we are building Jirbaum Imphal, the longest, the highest, tallest bridge, railway bridge in India at 141 meters. There are 19 projects today that are ongoing in the Northeast, railway projects worth 81,000 crores. And same with waterways. Shantanu ji talked about 20 waterways. We've got the longest river cruise in the world going on today in the Northeast, MV Ganga Vilas, along the Brahmaputra from Varanasi. We've got the Brahmaputra Expressway. The whole logistical environment in the Northeast is changing. You talk about education. We have close to 843 new schools. IIT has been set up in Guwahati. IIMs have been set up in Shillong. Triple IT has been set up across 2-3 cities across the Northeast, Manipur and Tripura. We've got skill development programs that have skilled almost 16 lakh young students. It's a young population. It's the youngest population across all of Asia. It's in the Northeast. And you know, youth bring about change. And that's the opportunity that you can give to that youth. And therefore, if you talk about education, you talk about health, AIMS has been opened up in Guwahati. 4,500 Ayushman Bharat health centers have been opened up. Organic state in agriculture, we've got Sikkim, 1.5 lakh hectares of organic farming. We talked about opportunities in renewable energy. 128 gigs of renewable power is the capability of the Northeast. Today, we have only 5 gigs operational. Can you look at the huge opportunity that there is there? And therefore, we are in Chennai today asking for all of you to participate in that new opportunity that is represented by 4.5 crore people, that new opportunity that is represented by my Ashtalakshmi, my 8 states, that new opportunity that is growing at close to 1.7x the growth rate of India. The Northeast is growing at a 12% CAGR. And if so, the states are growing at a 12% CAGR. Can you imagine if you set up businesses there, what the growth rate of that business could be? We're talking about an opportunity. If you look at the consumer consumption power, a 1.2 lakh crore consumption market. That is the capability of the Northeast. And therefore, if you look across the spectrum, you look at agriculture, you look at horticulture, you look at floriculture. I talked to you about organic farming. When I was Civil Aviation Minister, I was not even aware. But when I set up my Krishi Udan program, that's a subsidized program for cargo, for perishable cargo, horticulture, floriculture, agriculture, pisciculture, which goes in the belly of the aircraft. And we subsidize that rate. I was amazed when I heard that from Tripura, my queen pineapples are going where? Not to Chennai, not to Gwalior, not to Delhi. My queen pineapples are going to Germany. My king chili from Nagaland is going where? Not to Andhra, not to Punjab. It's going to Dubai. That is the potential. If we take food processing, which Chennai is so well known for, to that area, we value add. Because the maximum utilization is when you process something, you market it, you brand it. 90% of the value lies in that part of the chain. If we are able to bring it to our cooperatives in the Northeast, think about the value that we can create for the people there. Today, when there are weddings in Chennai, when you go to events, you see orchids. How many of you see orchids? Raise your hands. Where do orchids come from today in India? They come from Thailand. They come from Singapore. Do you know out of the 1,500 orchids that are prevalent across the world, 750 varieties come from one state of mine, which is Arunachal Pradesh. So why should we be importing orchids from abroad? We should be sending our orchids abroad. The oud that goes into perfume, that oud, which is known as agar wood, comes from the Northeast. Assam and Tripura have the highest production capability today, potential of agar wood, which goes into agarbatti, which goes into perfume. All of us do puja in the morning. How many of us do puja? I do. अगरबत्ती भगवान पे चलाते हैं ना हम लोग. Agar that goes into that agar wood, maximum capability in the world today is in Tripura and Assam. And I had no clue, but I was educated by the people sitting on this dais that 1 gram of agar wood is 5 times more valuable than gold and silver. That's our capability in India. But we haven't exploited that potential. Bamboo. Shantanu said 38% of our bamboo today is produced in the Northeast. And Chennai has such a huge furniture making industry. Today we can grow that bamboo, process it, manufacture furniture and export it abroad. I'm right now in my ministry working with Amazon. I'm working with 2 other companies to adopt self-help groups in the Northeast. Starting with 2 states. Which state are we starting with? Tripura. And Nagaland, where we will do end-to-end value processing of bamboo. So the possibilities are endless. Hydrocarbon reserves. You have refineries here in Tamil Nadu. The largest hydrocarbon reserves are in the Northeast, which are waiting to be exploited. Tourism potential. We saw some pictures here, but I guarantee you these pictures do you no justice. The beauty that is enshrined in the Northeast of nature's bounty is beyond any Shangri-La that you have experienced in the world, beyond Switzerland, beyond Ireland, beyond Scotland, beyond any other country in the world. From your living roots in Cherrapunji, those of us who've seen in movies scenes where people are swinging from tree to tree, living root bridges, full bridges. You can experience in Meghalaya and Cherrapunji. We built skywalks to experience waterfalls in many states. And so I've sat down and identified a tourism route for every state. And along with every chief minister, I am working out a package where we will look at only not infrastructure, but the soft skills from when you receive a guest to make him or her experience the whole route to when you see them off. And you in Chennai have such a 2,000-year-old history of hospitality. And I want you to invite you to the Northeast to partake in the capability of the Northeast as far as hospitality is concerned. Our domestic tourists have increased by 70% in the last 10 years. Our international tourists have increased by 214%. And it is our target that by 2030, we will increase our tourist arrivals to 15 million tourists per annum only in the northeastern region. And that will contribute 10% of gross northeast domestic product in the days to come. So whether you talk about tourism, you talk about agro-processing, you talk about renewable energy, you talk about horticulture, floriculture, agriculture, the possibilities are endless. IT and technology. 78 to 80% literacy rate, English-speaking population, tremendous educational institutions. And along with that, we have now set up an Internet of Things Center on agriculture, Center of Excellence in Guwahati, a data analytics center of excellence in Agartala in Tripura. The capability of engineering, software, IT prowess is there in the Northeast for you to come and partake of. And therefore, on this day today, I would like to invite our capable entrepreneurs from Chennai to come and experience new horizons, new capabilities. Come and partner with the Northeast. Be part of this new journey in this most important part of our country. And Chennai and the Northeast have had a very old relationship. I did a little bit of reading up on history before I came. And 500,000 years ago, trade used to occur between the Brahmaputra and the Coromandel coast. So this is not something new to you. All I'm trying to do is ignite old relationships. Come build that relationship again. Come be part of this new growth venture in the Northeast. And in the words of Saint Thiruvalluvar, wisdom lies in discerning truth, whomever may speak it. And therefore the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, that Chennai and the Northeast have a very, very important shared potential today, an important treasured past, and an important treasured future. Whereas the Ashtalakshmi temple in Chennai is a beacon of hope and prosperity, my Ashtalakshmi, my states of the Northeast, are a beacon of growth and development. Come, let's join them together, create a new chapter in the history of our country as we go forward, bring about prosperity, inclusion, and innovation as partners together on this journey. With those words, I'd like to thank you. And as I'm in Chennai, I will say, Romba Nandri. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister Ji. We were spellbound, and that was a phenomenal address. And I don't know, like I'm out of words right now. Thank you very much. So success today is defined by the entrepreneurship. That was wonderful, and we are taking it as a takeaway today. And the Ashtalakshmi was